If you're carrying extra fat around your belly, your risk for a heart attack is higher. However, the good news is that by removing specific foods from your diet, which we'll reveal in this video, the risk reduces quickly and the pounds can fall off too, without having to exercise or go hungry. Fat around the belly region is called visceral fat. It surrounds organs. However, unlike regular fat, visceral fat is nasty, as it releases inflammatory substances and hormones that wreak havoc on our arteries, skyrocketing the risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, liver, and kidney disease. In this video, you'll learn the top 5 worst foods, 2 of which are linked to an increase in cancer. We'll also provide healthy alternatives, so removing these harmful foods is easier, including some that have been shown to enhance belly fat loss and get arteries working optimally. Plus, stick around until the end as we've got 2 free gifts that will help you fight heart disease naturally. And remember to click the thumbs up and subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest videos. The first artery damaging food group is refined carbohydrates and grains, which are also terrible for belly fat. These include breads, pastries, pasta, and other similar foods. These foods lack fiber, so when we eat them, they're quickly digested and converted into sugar, causing a rapid spike in blood glucose. In fact, the moment a piece of bread hits your tongue, your saliva immediately starts breaking it down into sugar, thanks to a special enzyme called amylase that breaks down the amylopectin A carbohydrate found in grains, as cardiologist Dr. William Davis explains here.
Amylopectin A is the carbohydrate unique to grains that raises blood sugar higher than table sugar.
Most people don't realize that a white bread sandwich has the equivalent amount of sugar as 8 teaspoons. The result? Your blood sugar levels rise quickly, which is disastrous for weight gain and blocked arteries. This excess sugar in your system causes high insulin levels in the blood, which transports the glucose out of the blood where it gets converted into fat and stored in the liver and belly. The nasty kind of visceral fat that causes inflammation. But the problem is that a lot of people eat highly processed carbohydrates all day, such as processed cereals for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and pasta for dinner, which means their blood sugar and insulin is high all day. These insulin spikes can lead to insulin resistance over time, increasing the risk of diabetes, which is a major risk factor for heart disease, as high insulin causes inflammation and makes arteries stiff. And as if that wasn't bad enough, high blood sugar also leads to a harmful process called glycation, where excess glucose in the blood sticks to proteins and lipids, causing oxidative stress which can damage and thicken artery walls. A disease known as atherosclerosis, which is the leading cause of heart disease and stroke. And it's not only bread and pasta. White rice is just as bad. Just a single cup of cooked white rice can cause a similar sugar spike to that of a can of soda. Rice and similar foods should therefore be eaten in moderation, or replaced with healthier alternatives. Highly processed grains like wheat pose other health problems too. They can lead to digestive troubles and a condition called leaky gut for people who are intolerant to gluten, a protein found in many grains. However, what's even more alarming is that some experts now believe that gluten could damage the gut lining of everyone, even for people that don't show obvious signs of gluten intolerance. Listen to Dr. O'Brien explain this.
So every human, every time they eat wheat now, that's what the studies show us, they get this tear on the lining called intestinal permeability.
Moreover, the phytic acid in grains can bind to minerals in the gut and prevent their absorption, potentially leading to deficiencies. So, as you can see, refined carbohydrates and grains can be a disaster for heart disease and belly fat. So, avoid refined carbohydrates as much as possible. or at least focus on reducing their ratios in your diet. Instead, eat more whole foods like fruits, vegetables, and quality protein. These whole foods are rich in nutrients and fiber, which regulate blood sugar. Instead of white rice, opt for alternatives like cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice offers a similar texture, flavor, and ability to soak up sauces, but with fewer carbs and more fiber, which will help reduce the belly fat, inflammation, blood sugar spikes, and artery damage caused by high blood glucose levels that traditional rice can cause. To learn more similar food swaps like this, make sure to watch our other videos. Now let's talk about another nasty food to avoid, trans fats, which are particularly bad for belly fat and artery health. Trans fats are produced by adding hydrogen to vegetable oil, a process called hydrogenation, which makes the oil solid at room temperature. Margarine, a product initially marketed as a healthier alternative to butter, was one of the early trans fat culprits. Since the advent of margarine in the early 20th century, trans fats found their way into a multitude of processed foods, including baked goods, snacks like microwave popcorn, and fried foods, due to their low cost, long shelf life, and ability to enhance taste. However, they significantly increase oxidation and inflammation, contributing to the accumulation of visceral fat and plaque in arteries. It's important to note that in the US market, the FDA still allows levels of trans fat below 0.5 grams per serving in foods, and manufacturers label this as 0 grams, which can be misleading as even small amounts over time can be harmful. To make things even more confusing, on food labels, trans fat are often listed as hydrogenated. So if you see anything on a food label that says hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated, don't buy it, as even a small amount increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and certain types of cancer. There is no safe level of trans fats for the body, underlining the need to cut them out completely, which Dr. Mark Hyman confirms.
And that is trans fat or hydrogenated fat. That should never pass your lips. That's highly proven to cause heart attacks.
Although the food industry has greatly reduced the use of trans fats, they can still be found in shortenings, some commercially made cakes and pies, and deep fried and battered foods. Some restaurants use trans fats in their deep fryers, as the oil lasts longer and does not need to be changed as often. Cooking at home is the best way to avoid these problems. This gives you control over ingredients, and you can use healthier oils like olive oil, coconut oil, or butter. Now let's talk about something even worse: sugary foods and beverages. Sugar is a major contributor to many of the common diseases people face today, and it's not just the obvious culprits like soda and candy. Take, for example, the common belief that fruit juices are healthy. In reality, a glass of orange juice can have the same amount of sugar as a can of soda. Much like refined carbohydrates, fruit juice lacks fiber that is naturally present in fruit. Fiber helps slow sugar absorption, balancing blood glucose levels and avoiding spikes and crashes. Without the fiber, juice sugar is rapidly absorbed, triggering visceral fat accumulation, insulin resistance, and arterial damage. Instead of juice, eat the whole fruit. Now, a common question we get is, what about artificial sweeteners, like aspartame or saccharin? While these substances may seem like a good solution, they are associated with just as many health problems as sugar. Various studies have shown major pitfalls of these fake sugars. For example, a study published in the journal Diabetes Care found that people who drink diet soda on a daily basis had a whopping 67% increase in type 2 diabetes and a 36% increase of metabolic syndrome. While another study found these chemicals may change the gut microbiota, negatively impacting glucose tolerance. Gut microbiota is particularly important for determining whether you easily burn fat or store it, as well as influencing how well we digest food and absorb nutrients, hormone balance, and more. So, artificial sugar isn't the free pass many think they are. The truth is, your primary drink option should be water. Tea is also an excellent option, as it contains an abundance of polyphenols, natural compounds with potent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and cardioprotective properties. Polyphenols mitigate the harmful effects of sugar and fat in the bloodstream. They improve cholesterol function and protect against oxidative stress, thereby reducing the risk of developing artery disease. They also have beneficial effects on metabolism, helping to regulate blood glucose and insulin levels, which, as we discussed, can reduce the accumulation of belly fat. Before we get to number 2, Heart Disease Code would love to give you a free book, The Surprising Truth About Fat and Cholesterol, plus the first episode of the Untold Story of Heart Disease documentary series, something that everyone concerned about heart health should watch. Click the link in the description below to claim these free gifts. Next on our list is alcohol. While some studies tout the benefits of moderate red wine, excessive alcohol can destroy health. That's especially true for beer. Alcohol is dense in calories, second only to fat in terms of energy content. So, naturally, consuming it in large amounts can easily lead to an excessive caloric intake. Furthermore, alcohol is metabolized in the liver rather than the intestine, which favors fat accumulation in the abdominal area, leading to the notorious beer belly. Excess alcohol raises blood pressure and can contribute to conditions such as cardiomyopathy, where the heart muscles becomes enlarged or weak. This can lead to heart failure if left unchecked. Finally, because the liver treats alcohol as a toxin, it can also interfere with the liver's ability to metabolize and remove fats from the bloodstream. This, in turn, contributes to fatty liver disease. Aside from the liver and heart, other organs such as the pancreas and brain can also be adversely affected by excessive alcohol consumption. So, as you can see, alcohol harms the body through multiple mechanisms. If you want to live a long and healthy life, moderation or elimination really is key. If you do drink, try taking a month off alcohol and see how your belly responds. You'll likely also discover a new level of mental clarity and energy too. Now for number 1, processed foods. Processed foods bring together the worst of everything we've discussed so far. Consider common items like commercial baked goods, frozen pizzas, and ready-to-eat meals. They are typically loaded with refined grains, added sugars, trans fats, and high amounts of sodium. Additionally, they're often preserved with chemicals like sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate, which have been linked to increased inflammation and potential carcinogenic effects. Flavor enhancers like monosodium glutamate are associated with increased headaches and more serious neurological effects. This all leads to a vicious cycle of inflammation, increased belly fat, and arterial damage, boosting the risks of heart disease, diabetes, and other chronic conditions. Now, a special category of processed foods merits further discussion: processed meats. These include items like sausages, hot dogs, salami, and processed lunch meats. In addition to being high in unhealthy fats and sodium, they often contain preservatives that can convert into cancer-causing compounds in the body. A 2015 report by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, published by a working group of 22 scientists, found an 18% increased risk of colorectal cancer for every 50 grams of processed meat per day. Similarly, research from the University of Oxford found significantly increased risk in coronary heart disease associated with processed meats. If you really must eat cold meats, opting for unprocessed cold cuts is generally considered a better option than processed meats like salami. Unprocessed cold cuts, such as fresh roasted turkey or chicken breast, are typically minimally treated and contain fewer additives compared to processed meats. But even better is to eat organic, grass-fed meats. But as we've stressed, preparing meals from whole, unprocessed ingredients is always best. This gives you control over what goes into your food, helping you to avoid these health pitfalls. Of course, we recommend minimizing or even eliminating foods like cookies or bread, but if you're going to consume them, consider making your own. For instance, if you can't live without bread, consider making it at home using healthier ingredients. Flour alternatives like coconut flour or ground flaxseed can replace refined wheat flour. These provide beneficial nutrients and fiber without the huge spikes in blood glucose. Baking your own cookies lets you control the sugar content and allows for wholesome additions like nuts and seeds, while also avoiding toxic oils that come in commercial cookies. Remember, every food choice either feeds health or fuels disease. Choosing whole foods and minimizing processed ones is a powerful way to prioritize your health, reduce belly fat, and protect your arteries. It might require a bit more effort and planning, but your body will thank you for it in the long run.